7 ZAR. Today. Oh yeah, because when I run high power on 40 meters, low power is okay, but high power on 40 meters, her antenna is looking right into my feed point. So we're going to back it up 60 feet and reduce the field strength, near field. Over. You think they have a faulty cable? Oh, I see. So I'll have the company go through when they move the antenna. We'll check the cables and everything first and make sure that I do know that the gentleman next door told me that he has 3, I repeat, 1, 2, 3 receivers in his house. So illegal, but I'm trying to keep the peace. It's not too bad of a housing tract, but at least it's an acre deep and a half-acre wide, thank God. But yeah, at my other house here in Cedar City, before I moved up north, now I'm back, I ran my 40-meter leg right directly in front of my dish, about 2 feet away. And anyway, when I keyed up, my TV picture did go, I go, oh. So I put the antenna wire behind the dish, and it went, I'm happy now. So this guy is looking through my high voltage point. I know he's at 12 gigahertz. And what it is, the picture is really perfect because I walked over there with my remote microphone last week and I talked, hello, 1, 2, 1, 2. And in the white area on the picture, there's just a couple little white dots in there. Just a couple. And I looked at her and she says, I pay for high definition. I want high definition. I go, okay. So we're talking very, very minimal. So anyway, I guess I have backed that thing up 60 feet and it should go away. God, I hate doing this. You're right. I don't have to be nice, but I guess they don't have the money, so I'm trying to be diplomatic instead of throwing gas on it. K7ZAR.
What kind of TV is it?
Oh, who knows? They got like 3 TVs in the house. They're not running HDMI. I'm sure they're yeah, K7ZAR.
Well,
there should not be a charge for that.
TV, then you can tell her, hey, your plasma TV
provided
is
with the
interfering with
service
my
they
ham
pay
radio.
for already.
Well, yeah, you're right. Dish Network, the DirecTV people, when they called him, said, well, he moved in after we put up the DirecTV dish, so you guys have to pay us for it. So that's what DirecTV is saying. They refuse to move the dish or even check it out because I moved in after they put the DirecTV dish in.
Yeah, one thing you want to check, the TV cable, when it gets old, it gets all hard and stiff.
Hey, I understand all those things, but, I don't want to be going and playing around with people's electronics in their house, It's none of my business. I don't care, It's their problem, not mine. I'm trying to be diplomatic about it. I'm within my specifications and my bandwidth and my sporadic spurious emissions and all that stuff. So I'm just trying to be a little bit diplomatic, Darn it, it makes me angry. I have to spend $100, over.
Yeah, how long they have the service for that company?
Oh, them? I don't know. They probably a couple years. It's DirecTV. I mean, yeah, DirecTV. They probably had it a while. And, I'm not going to go cut on their coax and extend it back because they say, oh, it doesn't work as good as it used to. So that's why I got to use a private contractor. I mean, part of Dish or what, Direct. to have them do it, so, and I don't get liability-ized or something like that, you know what I'm saying?
One thing you could do, go down to Radio Shack, buy 3 of those filters, and go on the cable, and give it to the satellite man. Hey, if it'll work fine with these, install these filters also.
Oh, you talk about the chokes on the outside of the cable?
No, not the chokes. They got a little filter that the TV coax screws right on. And it screws onto the TV from there.
Oh, you're talking about a high-pass filter, so it knocks me out?
Yeah. So it's cheap at Radio Shack.
Yeah, but see, what I'm thinking is what's going on is I got so much RF voltage out there at that feed point, and that I am actually at their LNB, low noise, or whatever, LNC, and it's not an LNA, but I'm just saturating the transistors in that area, maybe. I don't think it's coming in on the coax. I know that's a real easy one to blame it on, but I think I'm putting voltage into the feed point. But that's why I'm hoping that when I slide it back, it's going to go away. If it doesn't, I'll have the Radio Shack chokes there put on the coax. But there could be a coaxial problem too. This guy maybe had him ship him 2 extra receivers, and he connected them up. It may be the way he's connected things too. So, who knows? Yeah, K7ZAR.
And check the power cord and make sure they ain't making a loop.
God, ground loops, who knows? Yeah, gosh. I was thinking about that today. I said, my God, I live on an acre deep and a half acre wide. What about these poor guys that want to be hams that have jobs that live down in Riverside, Orange County, and they got these normal city lots, and God, they try to have a ham radio, and just imagine all the crap that they're going through, and here I am half in the country, you're 100% in the country, but at least I'm only getting a couple of sparkles over next door, K7ZAR.
They're the ones calling animal control and calling agency. Yeah, I've been through all that. This is doing the damn day good. Some people are just stupid.
And what did Hollingsworth say about stupid?
You can't regulate stupid.
You can't regulate stupidity. Yeah.
That's the truth.
Oh, a long time ago. Remember Bobblehead and Justin and that whole thing there? That was funny. That was funny. Yeah, something about we had 2 horses and something. Poor animal control guy comes out, got 2 horses, a couple of goats. Man, because you got the best taken care of animals I've seen in Sealand. They got shelter, they got fresh water. We have the stall kids come out and clean the stall every week, and Gail takes top-notch care. The poor man, he says, man, I am so sorry to have to bother you. Yeah, then we found out later. Just trying to call every frickin' agency under the sun. It doesn't do him any good. He wrote the FCC, he called animal control, he tried everything he could think of. What a waste of time. These damn stupid-ass do-gooders that think calling somebody and going wah-wah-wah is going to do them any fucking good, Even Billy Tard, a fucking piece of shit Billy Tard out there, wrote a letter to Laura Smith about me, and he wasn't even involved, for God's sakes. That was funny shit right there. Yeah, these idiots that sit around, nothing better to do, they got their head up their ass, and they really think writing a letter to somebody is going to do some good. It just cracks me up. Well, I don't know what you call them, but It's just absolutely ridiculous. What a waste of time. You know, and that was probably the high point of their day. That's the sad part.
Wow, wow, wow. Let's all have a good cry.
I had a good laugh. I thought it was funny shit. I still think it's funny shit. Write some more letters, people. See how far it gets you.
You ain't no way. You're telling me that I'm not saying anybody's a jammer, but like if somebody's been accused of jammer, you saying that jammer wrote the FCC a letter about you?
Yeah. Well, Billy, William Crowell. Yeah, he wrote a letter to Laura Smith, whining about me and telling her I pulled the wool over her eyes and that she won't get any usable response out of me, and I'm a bad person. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. I said, oh yeah? Well, just consider your source, and sent her a letter back. Never heard another word.
Comedy, that's comedy, you know. I mean, that'd be great, like, you know, like the show 2.5 Men or something like that. I mean it's as comical as that, though, you know. K7ZAR.
That's the kind of nutcases you got out here. You know, the Billy Tards, the drunk tards, the bobbleheads. That's what you got out here. Oh yeah, the snitch bitch, Paul. Yeah, just like the other night. You know, there's a perfect example. Little snitch bitch Paul has to, you know, run down to 160 meters and hear Dimitri or me or somebody or Noel say something, and then run up here and play little snitch bitch. I mean, it's like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you ain't got enough to do to Paul? Paul, you ain't got enough to keep you busy? You gotta be a little snitch bitch? I know you're listening. Thanks for reminding me, Dave. Yeah, the little snitch bitch. Every time I hear him now, I'm going to say, what's up, snitch bitch?
Somebody said they had a question, meaning, what do you mean, I think, is what they were saying.
Well, then say it. Knock off the beep shit. You want to go, you know, diddy bop, that's fine. Nothing wrong with diddy bop. Go down to 3505 or something where they do that stuff.
Yeah, you heard the CW, right?
Yeah. I ignore it for the most part. I mean, I don't mind somebody using it to ID. That's fine, but yeah, you know, you get those in here too. Say little highs and all their stupid little shit. That's because they don't want you to hear their voice or know who they are. That's all. That's okay. That's what I mean. You got a whole shit pot of little sissy little la-las out here. You know, at least most of us, myself included, got enough balls to get out here, say what we mean what we say, and give a fucking call sign. KK 6FR. There you go. You don't like it? You don't like it? Write Laura Smith. She won't like it either.
But don't forget the VFO, Frank.
Oh, yeah. Spin the VFO. Don't cry. QSY. I love that one.
Hey, Frank, I'm fairly new. Who's this Lori gal that you guys keep on referring to, K7DNA?
Laura Smith, she replaced Riley Hollingsworth, the FCC enforcement person, I guess, person of contact.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense then.
Yeah, I mean, the FCC's useless. I mean, all that is just a desk. You know, just some place to stick somebody from some other government organization so they can finish out their time and collect their pension. Here, we'll give you a desk and we'll call it Ham Radio Enforcement. And every so often, some ham will whine and cry and send you a letter about some other ham, and then you send out this pre-made letter here. All you do is fill in the blank, fill in the call sign, fill in the address, and send it to them. And then they'll send you a letter back, and then you shove it in the round file, and you never hear from them again. Yeah, that's about as good as that is.
I always thought that they would, instead of going out and attacking these people or whatever they think they're going to do, I think they just kind of gained enough ammunition, if it was, and then just sell off the frequency and say, well, no one else is using it to get good work. But that's just kind of my hypothesis on the whole thing.
Well, you'd have to elaborate a little more on that. I mean, we're not doing anything against the rules. If you think about it, they don't have, they say profanity. Well, then write them a letter back and say, well, can you define profanity? Give me a list of words that I can't say. And if you do give me a list of words that I can't say, why are they not in Part 97? Because that's what governs ham radio. So if there were a list of words that we could not say out here, there would be a list. Since there is no list, they can go fuck themselves. Because there is no list of words you can't use out here. Period.
You know, that's an excellent point. I like that.
Well, I mean, it's true. That's what Billy's been, fighting for and saying and blah, 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 and he's been battling them back and forth, and shoot, they don't want to spend the money because they know they're going to get their ass whooped. I mean, if there was something you couldn't say out here, it'd be listed.
It's not even profanity. Profanity is never used in Part 97. It's indecent and obscene. That's what they talk about.
Okay, well, what's indecent and obscene? I would say to them, give me a list of what you consider indecent or obscene. So they would have to produce this list. And then you say, okay, now why isn't this list in Part 97? So, you see what I mean? I mean, people get intimidated. They get a letter from the FCC. Ooh, you did this and did that. And you say, no, I don't think so. And then they go away.
I noticed you answered your letter.
Christ, I've had a shit pile of letters. You answer them back, you tell them what they want to hear, they go bye-bye. How hard is that? You play their own stupid game. They leave it so vague that it's open to such interpretation that you can twist it and turn it any way you want, just like they can.
Never admit guilt.
There you go. That's so easy. You just never admit you did it. It's like they used to, when I owned a CB shop, they'd send a letter saying, gee, we had a person come in and you offered for sale a blah, blah, a Texas Star, or whatever it was. And you just send a letter back, thank you for bringing this matter to our attention. We have searched our inventory and we have found no devices such as you described, nor will there ever be any devices such as you describe on our property. You send them a letter back, done deal. You didn't admit to anything. You didn't say you would or wouldn't. There you go. And yet you took care of the requirement. All you have to do is respond within 10 days or whenever they say. Sometimes they say respond within 10 days. Sometimes they say respond within 30. So you responded. So you complied. You said, hey, you didn't admit, just like the guy just said, you don't admit guilt. You don't admit you had it. You don't admit you don't have it. You don't give them any shit. You just say, something simple like that, done deal. But most people, or some people, might freak out and go, I got a letter from the FCC. What do I do? What do I do?
Okay, Frank.
Yeah.
In cases you know it's a lot worse than the FCC is when you're working with a medical device manufacturer and you get a regulatory letter from the Food and Drug Administration.
Yeah, probably about the same thing, huh? Well, I don't know. So there you go. So that's why, you got people that can do their crap out here every night, and they don't do anything about it. They can't do anything about it. They can't fine you because you're not, you're not a commercial entity. You're an amateur radio operator. You signed up to some rules and regulations that are so full of loopholes and interpretation that it's wide open. It's anybody's guess.
You're so smart. You ought to be a lawyer.
No, see, that's where you're wrong. You see, I'm smart enough to not be a lawyer.
Oh, but, they could probably come out with a new Part 97, mean, things like that could be started, and that would change everything.
Yeah, but then they'd have to send it to all of us and have us re-sign it. We signed up to the old rules. If they want to change the rules, then they'd all have to send us another license for our signature.
That's a major regulatory hassle.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to. Are you kidding me? Ham radio falls into the category just like CB. One, they don't have the manpower. Two, they're not going to waste any time or energy on it. They don't have the money. There's no way. There's no way they're going to do a damn thing. Hell, every CB shop from Los Angeles to New York to Miami is illegal. They know it. They sell them goddamn Galaxy radios and Connexes, and they sell linear amplifiers all day, every truck stop. You think the FCC doesn't know? They don't give a rat's ass.
Sure, do you like those checks, though?
Well, sure. All they are, they just government workers. They just sit there and want to collect that, paycheck, and then collect that big retirement, that big, what do they call that, golden parachute there. They want to retire and keep 90% of their paycheck. They want to retire at 50. Hell, you and I can't do that, but go get a government job and you can.
I tell you, in the next few years here, I think they're going to have a really rude awakening.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if it's going to take a few years. Social and economic collapse is a matter of when, not a matter of if.
What's a galaxy?
What's the what?
What's a galaxy?
What's a galaxy? Well, go look up Galaxy Radio on the internet. Go look up Connex Radio. Go look up any CB shop. Every one of those radios are not FCC type certified. They're all illegal. Every CB shop and truck stop sells them. All those amplifiers, Texas Star, Dave Made, come on, you can't be a ham operator and not know what an illegal CB radio or an illegal CB amplifier is.
They're not illegal, Frank. The Ranger specifically says it's a 10-meter radio.
Right. You can say it's a man-on-the-moon radio just because it says 10 meter doesn't make it legal. How do you figure that? It's not FCC type certified for ham radio. It's not FCC type certified for Citizens Band. And yes, it is illegal. Type in on Google list of illegal CB radios, and the FCC it'll take you right to the FCC site, and you can see every illegal CB radio. There are only a couple that are FCC type certified: a Cobra 148, a Cobra 29, and there's a couple more. All the rest of all those so-called 10-meter radios are all illegal to be sold in the United States, period. Look, I ran a CB shop for over 15 years, okay? I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, made a lot of money. Hey, a lot of money in a CB shop. All you got to do is dip it in chrome and you can sell it to a truck driver.
Why don't you go to channel 17 and carry this thing on?
Notch filters are so nice. I love the tone. That gives everybody a chance to utilize their notch filter. No, I don't hear any clicks.
Dennis, Frank always does have those great one-liners. Dip it in gold and any truck light. What did you say?
You dip it in chrome and the truck driver will buy it. Anything shiny, you can sell anything shiny to a truck driver.
They're like ferrets.
I mean, that's a fact. I mean, CB shops and chrome shops are usually next to each other. Truck drivers will spend more money on chrome than they will their truck or their wife or their kids. Exception to anything you want. You're free white and 21.
I was in a truck stop down here in Cedar City last year, and they had this radio in there. It was called a Texas Star, and it was all 100% chrome, the front, the back, the sides, and had a speaker right next to it. I think it was like Road Ranger Texas Star or something like that. And I said, man, I like that speaker. It looked just like a Motorola one, you know?
Yeah, Texas Ranger. Yeah, and that Motorola, that chrome Motorola, we had Mr. Ping in our shop, and he is the manufacturer of that. He's the manufacturer of RCI, Connex, Galaxy. He's the manufacturer of all of those, and he was in our shop, and he used to watch Bill Good do a dual gate MOSFET front end for some of those CB radios. We were showing him how to improve the quality of their radios a little bit, but it was a lot of fun back in those days. But yeah, Gail actually walked up with an old Motorola, the old metal ones, and said the truck drivers love these, and if you can dip it in chrome or chrome it, you'll sell a gazillion of them. Well, that's exactly what he did.
Nice.
No, but I'm not kidding you. I mean, we used to know the guy. He's dead now. His name was John Pittori. Let's see, what was his call? JF, N1JF. I'm going to look him up, see if his call sign, his name was John Pittori. Let's see, N1JF. He's a silent T now. And let's see if he still comes up. Yep, John Pittori. Well, they called it as John Flory, but it was John Pittori, and he was a big old fat dude, but he used to manufacture linear amplifiers, illegal linear amplifiers, and he got busted by the FCC, and he laughed, and I go, well, what are you laughing at? And he goes, I make probably $2 million a year selling these linear amplifiers. The FCC comes in and busts me and hands me a fine for $30,000. He says, that's car change. He says, I pay them their $30,000. They leave me alone, and I go back to making illegal CB amplifiers to the tune of $2 million a year so he could support his race car habit. No, are you kidding? Texas Star is right down the road here in they're in San Diego. I know that the two owners, Don and Ed, do some research. Look up Texas Star linear amplifiers. They sell them. They get away with selling them as CW transmitters. You have to put a crystal in them. You pick the frequency and you put a crystal in them, and it'll actually do CW. But if you pull the little CW, the little crystal board out, you got a full-blown CB illegal amplifier that's capable of, a couple thousand watts. But that's the way they get around the FCC. They sell them as CW transmitters. Look up Texas Star amplifiers. You'll see a gazillion websites for them. Now you can go to RF Parts. RF Parts, you can look up Texas Star parts for that amplifier. And that's nothing more than an illegal CB amplifier. I know the business. I know the people in the business. I know the money being made. My God, there's probably, 50 CBers for every ham. Hell, probably more than that. There's a whole lot more CBers out there than hams. Every big rig you see on the road, every big rig has 1 or 2 or 3 CB radios in it.
And he still has his RCI, 2900, 2950 or whatever, and his amplifier. He works funny channels, probably, I would say, a majority of time more than working on HF, and I still don't understand why.
Good as an HF radio in your mobile if you're on the freeway and there's an accident. It's useless. What do? You grab your CB rig and the truck driver will tell you what lane it is, how many cars involved in the accident, if the cops are on the scene, and then they tell you what lane to get in to get around it. A ham radio is useless.
Yeah, we need CB radio operators, ham radio operators out there in case our nation ever needs it.